You keep trying to understand what is happening to you. You keep trying to explain the shift, to define the feeling, to mentally organize the thing that keeps slipping through your hands. And the more you try to understand it, the further it slips away. Because this is the trap almost no one sees. What you're trying to understand is not an object in front of you. It is the very reality you are trying to stand apart from in order to explain it. That is why understanding never seems to bring peace. It gives you more language, more concepts, more frameworks, more mental movement, but not resolution. Because the monad is not something the mind can master. And the moment you see that clearly, something in you begins to loosen. A lot of people get stuck here without realizing it. They read more. They watch more. They think more. They try to find the one sentence, the one perspective that will finally make everything click. And for a while, it feels productive. It feels like progress. Because understanding gives the mind a sense of control. It makes you feel like you're doing something, like you're moving toward truth. But if you're honest, you've probably already felt the limit of that. You can understand something deeply and still feel restless. You can explain it beautifully and still feel disconnected. You can talk about awakening and still feel trapped in the same loops. That's the frustration. Not because you're failing, but because what you're looking for was never going to arrive through explanation alone. The mind wants certainty. It wants closure. It wants a complete map. But the monad is not a map. It's not a theory. And it's not a philosophical puzzle waiting to be solved. So if you have been feeling exhausted by trying to mentally force your way into clarity, that does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you are beginning to hit the edge of what understanding can actually do. Understanding is useful in its place, but understanding cannot carry you into what exists before thought. The mind can describe the doorway. It can't walk through it. And that's the part people resist. Because the mind wants to be the hero of the journey. It wants to be the one that figures it out. The one that earns the answer. The one that reaches realization through effort and precision. But realization does not happen because the mind finally wins. It happens when the mind is no longer being mistaken for the one who must. That is why trying harder often makes it worse. The harder you push to understand, the more tightly you stay identified with a mechanism that keeps dividing reality into subject and object. But the monad is not on the other side of that division. It is what remains when the division is no longer being believed in. That's the paradox. You don't realize the monad by finally understanding it better than everyone else. You begin to notice it when the need to stand outside life and mentally possess it starts to fall away. This is why so many people feel a strange kind of disappointment after years of seeking. They expected to find some final concept, some ultimate explanation, some intellectual arrival. But instead, what begins to emerge is simpler than that, quieter than that, less dramatic than that. It is not that you suddenly know more. It is that you stop requiring thought to validate what is already here. You stop demanding that reality become mentally manageable before you allow it to be real. And this is deeply humbling, because most of us were trained to understand above all else. If you can explain it, it feels safe. If you can define it, it feels like it's yours. If you can categorize it, it feels contained. But direct being does not work like that. Love doesn't work like that. Presence doesn't either. And the monad definitely doesn't. You already know this in your own life. There have been moments you could not explain, but knew were real. A silence that changed you. A pause in the middle of pain where something opened up. A moment in nature, in grief, in stillness or exhaustion, where thought briefly stopped and something deeper remained. That was not ignorance. That was contact without conceptual interference. And that is closer to the truth than most of what the mind calls understanding. The monad is not something you understand. It is what is here before understanding begins. It is the undivided reality beneath the mind's constant attempt to separate, label, compare, and control. It is not your latest insight. It's not your spiritual identity. It's not your best explanation or your cleanest philosophy. It is the fact of being itself before the mind turns it into content. And this matters, because many people unknowingly turn the monad into one more object of study, one more thing to chase, one more special concept to hold, another spiritual badge to collect. But the monad is not improved by your understanding of it. It is not brought closer by your effort. And it's not made more real by your ability to articulate it. It's already here. Before the thought, before the question, before the effort to define what this is. The issue is not that the monad is hidden. The issue is that the mind is constantly trying to replace direct reality with mental representation. And then it wonders why life feels thin, why peace feels distant, why truth feels theoretical. Because a concept about water cannot quench thirst, and a concept about the monad cannot replace direct recognition. This is where the trap becomes obvious in real life. You sit alone trying to figure yourself out. You replay conversations. You analyze your emotional state. You try to solve your confusion by naming it more accurately. Or maybe you watch video after video, hoping the next one will finally complete the picture. Or you keep revisiting the same questions. What am I missing? What does this mean? Why do I understand it, but still not feel free? And underneath all of it is the same assumption. If I can just understand this enough, I'll finally be at peace. But look closely. Has endless interpretation ever really brought peace? Or has it mostly brought more mental activity? Has your inner life become clearer or more crowded? Because the mind doesn't want answers. It wants to remain in control. But peace does not arrive when the mind finishes controlling the experience. Peace begins when control is no longer the center of experience. And that can feel threatening at first. Because without constant understanding, the false self feels exposed. It feels like it's losing its ground. Good. That false ground was never stable to begin with. What does this look like in your real life? It looks like being in the car after work, mentally replaying your whole day, trying to understand why you feel off, and then noticing that the moment you stop chasing the reason, there's breath, space, and quiet. It looks like being in conflict with someone you love, desperately trying to figure out who is right, and then noticing that beneath all of the mental noise, there's awareness that is already here. It looks like lying in bed at night trying to understand your life, and realizing that the pressure to understand is the very thing keeping your nervous system locked. It looks like sitting in meditation, not trying to force revelation, but simply allowing what is here to be here. That's where the shift becomes real. Not in abandoning intelligence, but in putting thought back in its proper place. Use the mind when it is needed. Let it solve practical problems. Let it communicate. Let it learn. But don't ask it to do what it cannot do. Do not ask it to contain the whole. The mind is a tool. The monad is the ground. Once you stop confusing the tool for the ground, something softens. You stop trying to conquer reality through explanation. You stop treating peace like a conclusion. You stop turning every experience into something to decode. And in that softening, what was always here becomes easier to notice. Not because you finally understood it, but because you stop standing in the way with your need to understand. The monad does not become available when your mind reaches the perfect conclusion. It becomes obvious when the need to mentally possess reality begins to fall apart. That's why understanding never fully works. It's not because understanding is bad. It's because the deepest truth of what you are cannot be captured from a distance. It can only be recognized directly. So the next time you feel yourself trying to force clarity, stop and notice what is already here before the explanation arrives. Your breath, the silence around you, your awareness. The simple fact that existence is present before thought comments on it. That's not nothing. That's the opening. If this journey spoke to you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone ready to experience life beyond thought. Comment below. Have you been chasing understanding instead of direct recognition? I read every comment. If you would like to support my work directly, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/MagnumOpus333. Or you can explore some original merchandise at my Teespring store online. The link is in the description below. Remember, your consciousness is the key that unlocks reality. Let's keep unlocking it together. Thank you for watching. Until next time.